Okay, we started.
Yeah. Hi.
Okay,
Hello.
hello. No howdy this time. It's over.
You already said it. You already said it in the recording, so it's there now.
What do you mean? Yeah,
What?
I mean, I'm not gonna start with it anymore.
Yeah. All right. Someone's a bit
Yeah.
flustered.
New year, new me, bro.
All right. Where the fuck have you been?
Been at your house for like so many days.
Yeah.
But it's been a
Um.
while since we released an episode. It's been 2 months.
Yeah. So we were originally gonna take 1 month off, for, the Christmas break and New Year's, and get our shit together. But that extended to another month, and then
Lots happened though
yeah,
over those 2 months though. Yeah, you moved out. You moved to houses.
moved houses. Still not living with them. I don't think I'll ever live with them. So
Yeah, no,
that's
I
good.
don't want to. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I help you move out, kind of.
Did you? No, you
I was there
didn't.
the first night.
You literally crashed it on the first day I moved out, and then
Why
you
was
were
that?
just
Was that because
talking
of
about.
like the work party, or was that the marathon
No, the marathon was later,
later?
but
Yeah.
legit, you didn't help me.
I was there, just so you don't get scared at night. For a new place.
Oh fuck's sake! I'm scared
Keep
of
you
you.
company.
All right. So should we talk about what you've been doing? Yeah, I've just been fucking around, but you've been doing some
What's new?
interesting stuff, I think.
I think really, I ran a marathon. Then I did the meditation retreat, which I usually do anyway. Just It was good. Done a bunch of
Did you say
different
you
stuff.
ran a marathon?
Yeah.
I had no idea, dude.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Dude, I had no idea you ran a marathon. It's
It was very handy though, the fact that you moved like 15 minutes from the start line.
it still didn't
Like,
help because
yeah, no, because I was late.
well, if anyone's watched the Seinfeld marathon episode, it was literally how it progressed on the night. So we literally he came to my place because it was close to the finish line, or the start and the finish line, basically, and yeah, but we still got late.
Yeah, we did because we were talking about the episode. We were like, we can't let that happen, and it happened. Like, and you made me like walk around and I did
This is not my fault.
a good 15K with like a bag just around the city
You
waiting
could
for
have
you to
just
come
stayed.
home.
You could have just stayed in one place. I was moving stuff.
Yeah, sure. You're like,
No
oh,
one.
I'll come. I'll be there at 12, and it like keeps increasing. And then in the end, it was like 6 o'clock or something.
No, I was there like 4.
Sure.
All right. Well, what made you late was that you had to run all the way to a different place because.
No. What made me late was you and your 100 meters, like sprint
That wasn't
downhill.
That wasn't. I still got there in time, and
Kind of, yeah. I think it was my obviously it's my fault because I left late. I didn't. It took me I woke up at 3, right, and it's still
yeah.
3 a.m. and still took me so long to get ready.
We know so.
I take my time, bro. I take my time. It's the whole process, man. It's getting ready for running that distance. But it was good.
good.
Obviously, the whole training for that was interesting. Had to sacrifice a lot of other plans and other stuff and relationships with just people just because I wouldn't have time to hang out with people. And you knew that even when we recorded the podcast, I was so tired coming from a 30K run or something, just training for it. But it was the main reason was obviously a mutual friend of ours passed away. It's been 1.5 years now, right? Yeah, 2020 June, right? So that was I really haven't thought through it properly, I don't think, but going on long runs kind of puts you in the headspace where you can sort of think about this stuff and kind of process them. And it was cool because I was running and it was good that I was running in the morning and like farmland where there's no one around, because I'm like sometimes I'll be like crying or tearing up, and I'll be like laughing halfway through. Like this, the emotions hit you very hard when you're in that state, because you just kind of like fasted, and you just have, I know, your brain's like very susceptible to emotions when you're that tired, and that was good. It was a different way. I think it was a healthy way of processing what happened. Um, then yeah, I'm glad I managed to finish it in the end. It was good.
Yeah, that's good. I would say at the finish line. It's nice.
It took me a while to find you, yeah,
Yeah.
but
Um,
no, I was it was so funny because
I
you
was
were
just like
so
waving
tired.
at you. I was waving at you for like so many, so many minutes, and like you were
Yeah,
just like on the floor, just like looking
yeah.
at
I just
your
crashed onto the
feet.
floor, didn't
Yeah.
I? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um. But
But
yeah.
how was it for you? Like seeing, like, I don't know, you just kind of supported me for those 2 days, right?
Yeah. Um. I think it was quite like inspirational. To see the people, like even the people like who finished early, like who like the first five, because there was an app, right, that I could follow you in, and
Hmm.
there you can see the timeline of what happened, like the first five who finished and all
Hmm.
that. So it was like, and then I found that like two or three of the first five who finished were Paralympians. So, and one of them was blind as well. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
I'm
pretty
going.
like
Yeah, I was
that.
next to that person. I was so good. I was like trying to keep, like, just be with them, just because it's so inspirational. Like every time I'm feeling like tired, this
Yeah.
guy just like going through. He's literally blind, and he's like
Yeah.
killing
So
it.
he had another runner with him. Like there was someone
Yeah,
holding his
yeah,
hand. Yeah. Yeah. Just to
yeah,
make sure like everyone knows what that is. It's just
yeah.
not someone just running. Um
Like totally blind, just
yeah,
running.
that would be pretty hardcore. That's like
But I was watching the Paralympics triathlon, and like second silver medal was a Spanish girl. She was blind as well.
yeah.
So triathlons, like, you got to swim and cycle as well,
Mm.
and she was blind. So good, so crazy. But and it was cool. Like going back to your house afterwards, I sit down, I'm like tired. Like I haven't been that tired in my life, I don't think, ever.
Yeah.
Um, like physically tired. Um, and I
Well,
just sat
we
down
need to
next.
put some context. Like by saying physical tired, when I like saw you right after the race, you had like salt and white stuff on your on your like body, like all over your neck and your face. And I
Mm,
was like, bro, you didn't like rub the sunscreen properly. And then you're like, oh, I didn't actually put any sunscreen. I forgot. And I was like, what the fuck is that on your face? And it's sweat. It's like dried up sweat, right? So it's just
yeah,
white
yeah. Just like
salt.
the salt. Yeah, the salt just
It's
condensate. Yeah.
crazy. Um,
Um, but it's cool. It's like, I think it's like 2 liters of sweat or some shit. Probably more because I do sweat a lot. And then yeah, it's a whole thing. And you were asking me questions. I just couldn't like
yeah.
like think. I couldn't think. I was like, my brain was like, just. I was like, shut up, just don't talk.
Yeah.
And then we met these guys on the tram. Remember the Cristiano Ronaldo guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
There's random like zoo.
Zoo.
No, it's not zoo. It's zoo.
I can't say it, but I feel like no one, and except people who watches soccer, knows what that means. Um,
Um. Sure.
but
Um.
but I think it was cool. Like I came and I like had a shower, all that. So like just sat down on the couch, and you come, you sit right next to me, and you're like, bro, I'm so tired, and I don't even say anything. I like just turn and look at you. Well, that's it, bro. Like it's all relative, man. Like you did like a massive sprint in the morning trying to get to the start
Well,
line, and you're like,
I was like going around the place, right? To like,
oh, you were doing some other shit as well.
yeah,
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 yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. It's like it's obviously very relative. Like I was running it. Some people were walking the marathon. Obviously, like they're all in the end, everyone's fucking tired. Either way, it's just the effort. It's not the distance or the time. It's just the effort you put in, really, in the end. Well, it was good, but thanks for like taking care of me and stuff. You got me like coconut water, shit. I drank, dude. I had like 3 dinners in like
Yeah.
the span of 2 hours. Like I was eating everything you had, and we had to like Uber
It's
Eats and
ransacked my fridge.
sorry, dude. But I cooked. I cooked the day before, and then I just ate
Yeah,
it
you cooked
or ate
some
all of it.
you cooked some
I,
pasta and some pesto. Yeah.
and I like cook, and I ate your portion as well. Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. It was a lot of too much carbs for me, but I'm glad you like it's interesting to see you like eat so much. So much like unhealthy like carbs at the
Yeah.
time. So it's like I was like, oh, this is
Yeah,
interesting.
because I usually don't, and I was just carb loading and like just
Oh
obviously getting all the sugars in before the marathon, just eating white bread and all that. That was good.
yeah.
Good times. But it's been difficult like trying to switch back into my normal routine. Like I just only this week I properly got back into it. So it's been like a month where I've just been getting massive cravings for like carbs and sugars and eating at night and just eating all the time. It's interesting. Obviously you're recovering and all that as well, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Um. Well, so for those of you who didn't know, Duma ran a marathon. He's like going. He's like whenever we go out, like he carries
I
the med.
did literally
He carries the med. He carries the meds
that.
around, and like this is how he like picks up chicks. He's like, "Hey, did you know I ran a marathon?"
Yeah, sure. No, it's this happened because we went to a pub. I think literally 2 days after the marathon with all our friends, and we had to like walk up the stairs. And obviously my legs don't work at this point. It took me like a week for my legs to kind of recover. So obviously like I'm struggling to go up. And then
Everyone's like
this
passing you in the stairs. Like this old lady like walking up the stairs. Like, oh, sorry, yeah, I ran a marathon. I'm sorry.
not me, like everyone around me, they're like, oh, he ran a marathon. My friend ran a marathon. Like, and then the cool thing is I met that Irish guy who ran a marathon as well, and then we were like vibing.
Mm.
Remember, like downstairs, yeah.
I mean, you
Anyways,
say it's an Irish guy, but like there was just, like the whole place is full of Irish
it's an Irish
people.
pub,
It's an
yeah.
Irish pub. So like, when you said that, like, I don't know who you're talking about.
But yeah, it's good. But then went straight into like monk mode for a bit.
Monk mode.
Yeah, back to monkey. Just do this like meditation retreats. So I did that, which is cool. But it was more like volunteering my time there to help out. It's weird though, like just being obviously working as a software engineer, you're on your computer all the time. Even though I'm pretty active, like it's still not the same as going in and helping. Like I was helping with yard work and gardening and plumbing and brickwork and all this stuff, right? Which people do, and men back in the day did a lot of that, and that's nothing compared to me running and doing any of that. Like it's a full workout of like the mind and the body, and it's so cool just doing that at a place where everyone's kind of in that meditative state. So I just went to help out. So I just been working. I would be working like 7 hours a day, just shoveling, digging, plumbing stuff. It was pretty cool. I learned a lot. Like plumbed up this 25,000 liter tank by myself, which is cool. Never done it before, obviously. But doing all this brickwork, it's very cool and good to sort of donate something else, something other than just money. Because you can always donate money, but there's two other things you can donate, right? You can donate your skills or you can donate your time, right? Obviously I didn't have much skills, but donated my time and gained some skills as well. Yeah,
cool,
and then
man.
I came back. Yeah, and I came
Came
back.
back.
No, I went to Ballarat. And then
Yeah, you're like low key calling me. Yo, I'm in Ballarat. It's nothing to do. What the fuck?
yeah, okay.
I'm
Because it
like,
was like
bro, aren't you like supposed to be somewhere else? Aren't you supposed to be in like meditation mode or something? And they're like, oh no, I'm done with it. I'm like, oh okay, great.
yeah, because I didn't stay for the other one. I was like, I didn't want to do 10 days of meditation the day I wasn't ready, and Ballarat was good, and it was weird because I think it was like the 26th or something. Where in Melbourne it's like everyone's out on the 26th,
Yeah.
like shopping and stuff. Everything's closed down there. But luckily there was a movie, like there was like a cinema there, like an ancient cinema. It was awesome. So I went there like every night. I had this whole house to myself basically because the hosts like left. So this really nice like Victorian little cottage, very aesthetic. Just staying there by myself. It's actually really cool. Went to the galleries, and then I crashed at yours, I think.
Yeah.
But I came back because I have everything I need to survive in a bag, so I can just stay at any place I want. And I just saw a lot of friends, and like for New Year's, I've met friends, and
Yeah.
obviously hiking and all that with some of our mutual friends. Um, it's been very cool. Like a lot has happened in the last 2 months.
Yeah, it's like when I thought, like when I looked back and like check whether we actually when we like last put out an episode, I felt 2 months ago. I felt like it's been more than that. It's been like 5 months or something because there's so much happening during December and like the first bit of January, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, so much has happened. It's gonna be a good year though.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
it's gonna be it's gonna be a fat one. It's gonna be huge.
What do you mean by flight? Like PHAT?
Yeah, yeah, future. You know,
PHAT.
you can.
PHAT.
You know,
like a big year.
it's gonna be a big year. I think it's gonna be a
Okay.
lot of changes for both of us, I reckon.
Mm.
But there's some things in the works. You already know, but very excited. Lots of stuff. But yeah, and even with the podcast, right? We want to sort of like I know like friends there just tell me like, oh, this is the trauma podcast. So we want to kind of change that angle, change that perception a little bit as well. We wanted to go back to the root, like we want to focus on stories. Personal stories, maybe ours, maybe our friends, maybe people we don't even know, but we just want it to be a bank of stories. I think that's what you kind of said right on the first podcast.
Yeah, like that's kind of why we talked about what we did during like December. Specifically what Duma did during December. Tiny stories, I guess. And then like moving forward, I guess that's what we're gonna try to aim for. Like it's not gonna be like it's not gonna be traumatic at all. Like it's gonna be like it could be like that's the thing. We're trying to like label it less as that. So there's like very likely to be good, funny, lighthearted stories as well, which is what we want as well. So that'd be good because we know a few people who do have those, and it'll be pretty exciting to get them on. And personally as well, we do have a few. So so it'll be pretty fun.
Yeah, it's good, and it's I mean, it's not just stories. I mean, we want to cover the whole spectrum of human experience, right? So that's not just trauma. There's also the happy side of it and everything in between, right? So that's why we want to do different stories and stuff, and what we want people to take something away from every episode, feeling like, oh, I relate to that, or I didn't know that you could experience that, like something like that. And I know this episode was a bit lighthearted, like no one's going to take anything away from this one other than maybe there's nothing to do in Ballarat on the 26th of December, like
Boxing Day. Well,
no, don't go to Ballarat on Boxing Day.
I went to Ballarat on Easter in like 2017.
That'll be a lot of tourists, right?
Well, there's a lot of locals just going around there. You went to the lake as well, right? So the lake is.
I did,
nice.
Yeah. I didn't run around that one. Yeah.
It's I just did, like 100-meter sprint,
Yeah, yeah. Your specialty.
My specialty.
That's your event. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's very like architecturally, I guess it's very like
it's Victorian. It's beautiful. I think. Yeah. The gardens were nice. The art gallery is really nice, actually.
Yeah, because like you stayed in like a cottage, and like I was in the opposite way. I was in this old Victorian flat kind of thing,
like a terrace.
Yeah, sort of. It was like very much in the heart of the city of Ballarat. So like, but it was like really old furniture, really old.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, just old panels. Just pretty nice. Like we did like an Easter egg hunt as well around the house. It's pretty fun, but just reminiscing of good times, I guess.
Yeah. Well, take what you want from this episode, guys.
Trust me, if you ever do go to Ballarat, or like we would recommend it. Going on the train, get on the V line, go to Ballarat.
Yeah.
Spend a few days.
Yeah. And I went by myself. It was good. It was like, I like doing that where I'm going to places where I don't know anyone, or like, so I can literally just be a new person. and that's what usually happens, right? Like we as people, like we behave a certain way just because of the cues around us, whether it might be the environment or just people around us. We behave a certain way, and when you take all of that away from like yourself, you can just behave in a totally different way, like a better way, if you know, if that's what you want to do. And in lots of like, I've given that like advice to a lot of people who like are struggling, and then when they move out or when they sort of change environments, getting out of that situation just makes them behave differently, right? The cues are all different. And you see that with Vietnam War vets as well, like like heroin addiction, like opium addictions, like it's like very difficult to obviously overcome. But there was people who would come back to US and they would have no, their addiction would be gone because the cues are gone, right? All the cues are gone. It's interesting, I think, just being aware that how your environment is affecting you as well. You're right.
Yeah, had a bit of a cough there.
Just allergic to me talking.
Sorry, just residual COVID symptoms, I think.
Yeah, you had COVID as well, man.
Let's
You
not,
had a
very eventful kind of year. Well, hopefully, I haven't alarmed a lot of people that didn't know. I'm okay now. Symptoms lasted for like a week, so.
You moved out and then you just get COVID.
No, what's funny is that I went to Sydney, and Sydney the cases went up so high, and
so you've been super spreading.
I'm the
Australia.
super spreader, bro. No, like I'm surprised I came back from Sydney with like a negative result, and then like 2 weeks or 3 weeks later, probably 3 weeks later, I just tested positive after getting it in Melbourne itself. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Homegrown, local,
bro.
keep it local, guys.
Yeah.
This is going off the rails now.
Well, when we spoke about like taking something away from each episode, I think something that we want to talk about maybe today before we wrap up is like, speaking of last year, is there anything that I would say learned instead of like, instead of saying that you want to do differently this year, I would say, is there anything you learned last year that comes to your mind?
Yeah, I think I've learned loads like last year, but I think what comes to mind was what I kind of really understood in the past 2 months, especially in December where I was in Ballarat, where I was like reading a lot about this stuff, sort of thinking about it a lot as well. Like thinking about, because I'm a person who does a lot of stuff. Like I want to do stuff all the time. Getting like achieving different things, which I don't think from the outside it might seem like, oh, you know, this guy's achieving a lot or whatever, right? But it's always coming down. It's just people trying to fill a void, right, where they can't just be comfortable in that space, you know, so they need to occupy themselves with other stuff. So I've really learned, like really understood that I need to carve out time where I'm not doing anything like at all, like not doing stuff that seems productive, right? And I can't get everything done. That's always been my problem. Like I'm very, you know me, like a very regimented. I have to-do list of everything I need to do, like everything's organized and try to get everything done. But obviously like the to-do list I've never completed in like the last 2 years. Like it never happens. There's always new stuff coming up and there's always new opportunities. And obviously you get that, you know, paralysis by analysis kind of situation where I'm like, I want to go for the best opportunity. So you struggle. I struggle, right? So what I learned is that you're never going to pick the best opportunity, right? All you have is the opportunity you have right now, and just do it, take it and just see where it's headed, right? You only have a limited amount of time and there's no use trying to optimize that time. Like the fact that you're choosing to do something means you have to say no to all these other things, right? All these other things you could be doing, but that's what makes that decision really valuable. The fact that you've sacrificed all this opportunity to do this one thing, right? And that's what I really gain. So when I come over to hang out with you, I know I could be doing other stuff, but it's more valuable now that I am kind of sacrificing all that stuff to come hang out with you, right? Like all these decisions that I take now, that's kind of in my mind, and I have a lot of free time now. Like I'm not compelled to fill up my time with things, just being by myself. And I feel like lots of people, I can only speak to myself, but I know people who are just uncomfortable being by themselves without anything, without doing anything. And that's why we reach for our phones and stuff. It's just that tiny, it's like this really weird, I don't know what it is, but it's like a weird, like a uncomfortable tone that's like a bit of static that's like uncomfortable when you're just there doing nothing by yourself. Some people are really good. Some people would thrive in that situation, and I'm kind of heading that way. I want to just doing nothing doesn't feel like crap. I don't feel like I'm missing out. I don't feel like, I don't get that FOMO, right? Like fear of missing out. And it's kind of reversing that, like the joy of missing out, because I'm missing out because I've decided to sacrifice all that I could be doing just being by myself.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was like a long-winded way of trying to put what's going through my head around this time, but hopefully that made like some sense.
Made sense to me. I don't know about everyone listening, but that's what you talk about. So like, I've got a pretty good understanding of. I understand what you mean. I at least I empathize with what you said and kind of related because.
What about you? Yeah, like what about you? What have you learned? So like,
I would say, yeah, I would say like it's something a bit similar, but I think I'm a bit different to you. Where like I'm quite more to myself, and I don't really partake in a lot of outgoing activities, and I prefer to be like by myself more than like with friends. Like that's nothing on them at all. Like I have great friends. Personally, I think like I'm blessed to have like really good friends.
You're talking to me now, yeah? Thanks, bro.
I'm like trying to look away from you when I said that.
All of my friends except Demidu, like.
Yeah. And like there's nothing on them. I've found out through, and it's not even last year. It's just the past 3 or 4 years that I prefer to be by myself. So it's a bit like similar to what you said. Like I enjoy being by myself a lot more now, and but I've also found out, especially last year. So this is more like what I've learned. It's like a growing process, I guess. I do need to hang out with friends. Like I do need that kind of support, that bouncing off the walls and stuff with them to like create relationships and thrive in them. But like and over the year I've tried to like maintain those and keep them going, put in a bit of effort into it. But I've also not put in too much effort because I know my boundaries, I know my limits now in terms of when I can say yes to something and when I have to say no to something. And yeah, even now, like I struggle to hang out with someone more than once a week. Like if they come up to me and then like, okay, let's do this thing in like 2 more days, I'll be like, no, sorry. Or like I'll be like, that's your time out. And it's not it's nothing on them at all. It's nothing on them at all. And it's just me. I'm just very uncomfortable doing that. So yeah, I've learned that more on myself. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I've just realized that I am more comfortable. I'm more comfortable in that. So I'm even more productive during that time. So
yeah, I think that's what I was getting at. I wasn't saying because I love being by myself, but I'm saying is I'm trying to always be productive.
Yeah,
I feel like being productive it's been like a trait of mine for so long that I'm trying to get things done all the time. I like being by myself, so I be by myself and get a lot done. And obviously, you can get a lot more done when you're by yourself. But I am now trying to be comfortable with not being productive, right?
Yeah.
Like being productive is not, it's not. It was always like it wasn't a means to an end. It was just the end in itself for me, like for so long. Now it's kind of, I'm slowly learning to just being fine with not being productive, and going, like, and I've had this talk with you, like, we kind of both the same way. We kind of want to, we're comfortable being by ourselves. So that's kind of the reason I want to get into more situations where I'm uncomfortable. So, and I've told you that as well, just meeting people, going out, or whatever that makes you uncomfortable, doing that, because you don't need to train, or you don't need to prep for comfort. That's the whole point of comfort.
Yeah.
You kind of can settle into it easily. So training, or I put everything in terms of training, but I'm getting used to being uncomfortable is good. I think so.
I think like what has helped me in terms of that has been like trying to change the definition of what I mean by productive. Do you know what I mean? And like when I just
yes.
said it helps me be productive, here's what I mean. Like someone once told me, like years ago, a good friend of mine told me, like, and it's been a saying. I'm not sure who said it before, but he said, "Marry your work," and like I thought that was just too much. Like that was stupid. And like it didn't. And to me at the time, it meant like putting your actual work. Like at the time, it was your studies, could be your work, the work you do to earn money, putting that on a pedestal. But I think something I realized lately is that it doesn't necessarily mean that marry your work means like focusing on improving yourself, on what you're passionate about and what you're good at, and what the person you are when you're alone, like as you mentioned, the person that you want to be, and be like towards your friends, that person. And I think that in itself is like free therapy, at least to me.
Yeah, lots to unpack there. I think something interesting about being a friend to yourself,
Yeah.
which we had a long chat about, just super interesting, which we sometimes forget. We treat ourselves in a certain way, and if you reflect as a third person looking in, you realize that I wouldn't treat my friend that way. Why am I treating myself that way, right? Why is there a double standard where if at all, you should be treating yourself. I mean, you shouldn't, but if you are, you're going to be treating yourself better than a friend. You're like the most closest person to you, right? Like yourself. So, but that's not the case, right? That's also, I've told you that whole thing about, drug adherence. Like people don't adhere to the prescriptions properly, but if they're looking after someone, like the drug adherence of pets is like 100%. Like owners look after their pets like properly, like they give their drugs properly, right? Like it's because it's your responsibility. You're looking after someone. But I'm saying we all need to kind of look after ourselves, as we need to feel like we are responsible for ourselves and look after ourselves like we would for a friend.
Yeah. Okay. It's a bit of a long-winded way of saying what we learned during the year, but in reality, it was more like what we've come to terms with, I guess.
Yes.
The year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's all we should discuss for this episode.
I think so. Yeah, we're gonna rant on if you talk about every little lesson we've learned this year.
But what I'll say is it's good to be back.
Yep.
I think like just talking to you for like the past hour or like 2 hours has been pretty good. Like just this episode, just free therapy, at least. But personally, it's good.
Yeah, I love it, man. Like we've been talking a lot now, like than we ever have. I think ever, like since we went to school. And it's good. Just it's 90% bullying each other, which is good. Like it just really makes you feel good. Like it's going back to that childlike place where you just free for all, like no man standing. We just keep going at it. Like it's good. It's good. Like I love it. And it's weirdly feels like I feel better every time. Like we just have like a little bullying session.
It's like having a cold shower in the morning, right? Prepares you for adversity.
Yeah, when I said I want to make myself uncomfortable, yeah, that's me
This is what you
calling
meant.
you.
This is the most
Yeah.
uncomfortable you get.
Just talking to you, man. Just
Yeah.
very uncomfortable.
Oh god. Not as uncomfortable
Jesus,
as a 100-meter run, I think.
yeah, you did well, man. You did well. I was gonna sign you up for a 10K, then I was like, oh, this is too brutal.
Fuck that.
So I'm gonna sign you up for a park run, and then I'm gonna sign you up for a 5K race.
All right.
For it'll be in the future. You can.
All right, I'm just gonna
It's 5K, man.
I'm still considering this friendship. So like you're
you
gonna
don't
be
have.
one of the people.
This is not an offer.
Just
This is
gonna
not an
cut-
offer. Like,
just gonna cut you out now.
all right, let's end this now.
All right. Okay. See ya. Bye bye.
See you guys.
Happy
Bye-bye.
New Year.
It's late. It's too late.
It's a bit late, but yeah.
All right.